Hey everybody, today I want to talk with you about dysthymia, or persistent depressive disorder. What is that, and what do we do if we have it? So stay tuned. So like I said, today I'm going to talk to you about dysthymia. In the DSM-5, they changed the name to be persistent depressive disorder, but the symptoms aren't any different, and the diagnostic criteria hasn't changed. So whatever we call it, it's still the same diagnosis. And for my benefit, I'm going to call it dysthymia because that's what I went to school when, we called it that. I was studying for my exams, we called it that. So today I'm going to talk to you about dysthymia. I know many of you have reached out and said that you have that diagnosis. And what makes dysthymia different from major depressive disorder is that dysthymia is a little bit of a lower grade depression that goes on for a really long period of time. In order to get the diagnosis, you have to have had this depression for at least 2 years. If you're a child, 1 year. And the symptoms can't go away or subside for more than 2 months at a time. So you can see how hard this could be to have, because what that means is that you're feeling down and gloomy, you're not enjoying your activities like you used to for a really long period of time. And often I find my clients who struggle with this will even report back to me about different situations or maybe occasions and celebrations they were a part of, and they'll just kind of talk about them like they were gloomy days. It wasn't that great, oh, it was okay. Nothing gets them really excited. And the thing that I really want to talk with you most about, more so than the diagnostic criteria, because it's similar to that of depression, is get help for it sooner rather than later. I find people who struggle with dysthymia they had this low-grade depression for years and years and years and years before they ever talk to someone. I was just reading an article the other day saying that the average person with depression, not even dysthymia, the average person with depression doesn't reach out for help until they've been struggling for about 2 years. That's the average. And another fact I found is that it's almost 15 years for some people by the time they get the help that they actually needed. And that's why sharing these videos is so important, because the sooner we can reach out to people and the sooner people reach out for help, the sooner they can feel better. We can get the support that we need. Because depression is a serious thing. Dysthymia is a serious diagnosis. And the way that you would know if you're struggling with it is if you have some of these symptoms that I'll tell you about. The number one and the most important to notice is a loss of interest in things that you used to enjoy. I called it in my other video anhedonia, because that's the term that we use in the therapy world, but it really just means you don't like things you used to like. Like I have a couple of clients who used to love to paint or sing, and they're just not doing it anymore because it just doesn't bring them the joy it used to. Notice if that's happening to you. Speak up, reach out for help. Another way to notice is if you have a loss of appetite or maybe an increased appetite. You can also not sleep at all. You struggle to sleep, or you may want to sleep all day long, never want to get out of bed. Getting out of bed is like the hardest thing you've ever had to do. Everybody experiences this differently, but if you're noticing shifts in your behavior, in your enjoyment of life, if you're just feeling really hopeless and gloomy, if your confidence is kind of just going down, notice these things, because it could be a sign or a symptom of something bigger. And the sooner we can get diagnosed, the better the outcome, right? Now, the one differentiation I want to make is when we're adults, it's those symptoms I was just talking about. That's how we diagnose it. We may not enjoy things, we struggle to sleep, or we sleep too much, we eat too little, or we eat too much, all of those things. Now, if we're a child, we're under 18, it tends to represent itself more in the irritability component and lashing out. A lot of people say that it goes hand in hand with ADD or ADHD diagnoses. Most children also meet the criteria for dysthymia, and they'll struggle in school. They'll have trouble in social situations. They lack the social skills of children their age. They'll yell at teachers. They're irritable with friends. They're irritable with their parents. They kind of are just struggling to feel comfortable. They're feeling really down. They don't know what's wrong, and they're frustrated. I think that's the number one thing that children will say to me is, I just feel really frustrated. And no wonder. If you're just feeling really down and gloomy all the time and everybody else around you is seeming to have, being hunky-dory, everything's good, it'd feel kind of bad, right? And so the thing that's important to remember is with children, it goes on undiagnosed a lot. They say it's ADD or ADHD. They don't look further. They don't find out if they're feeling hopeless or they're feeling down. They don't ask them about it because it presents itself differently. So know that if you're having those symptoms and you're a child, it's not like the adult, that it could be the same thing. It's okay to reach out for help. It's okay to ask your doctor if maybe it's something else. If they've already diagnosed you as ADD and they've kind of pushed it off and you just have a prescription you fill every month or whatever, it's okay to ask again. The thing about dysthymia that bothers me the most is that it goes undiagnosed and untreated for years. So if you find yourself struggling with this or this is a diagnosis you've just received, not all is lost. The sooner we reach out for help, the sooner we start talking about it, the sooner we start looking for support systems and groups and friends and people who can make sure that we're getting out of the house every day, the sooner we can start feeling better and more like ourselves. Because the most important thing with my clients, I don't want them to lose sight of who they are and how things used to be, how great things can be in the future, because you can get there too. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I put out videos 5 days a week and you don't want to miss them, right? And also leave your comments below. I'm always reading through those. If you have any feedback or any videos you'd like me to make, I'm always looking through those for some good tips and tricks, and I answer questions. Also, don't forget to like this video. You can find me on Twitter and Tumblr and Facebook and Instagram, and I'm everywhere. And don't forget to check out KatiMorton.com because we've got great things going on there too. The final sign number 6. Now, this symptom or these symptoms are things that we feel in our bodies because of our depression. Those are aches and pains,